Ashe, 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 Ashe. Pan African. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Pan African lifestyle.
We can't see nothing, Jamie.
Y'all
hear that?
We can hear it, but we can't see it.
This is for real Pan African. Shit, no be a regular.
Still don't see it?
Shit, we been too polite. Shit, time for black dynamite. Got you guys. Enough for the talk. Time for walk the walk.
There we go. You can see it now.
Action, not here for distraction. Shit. If you time to actually plan. Shit. Pan-Africanist, black business, black evolutionist, conscious capital gotta be on the list. Shit. Yeah. See the African dream. Shit. Green, black, red, be the team. Shit. Kitty frequency, that's the sign. Time there, not line. Stand tall, all for one and one for all. Shit. Yeah, this is for Pan-Africanist. Be a regular just. Shit. We been too polite. Shit. Time for black dynamite. Got me right. Shit. Oh. For too long, got people been implied. Group economics gon' set things right. Inspire generation. New legislation. New Africa. One currency, army, passport, trifecta. I'm for real Pan-Africanism. We done with all the other isms. No colorism, tribalism. All these fake schisms. Yeah, we ended the corruption. Pardon the interruption. This Renaissance eruption. This is for real Pan-African. No, be your regular just. We been too polite. Time for black dynamite. Got me hype. For too long, got people been implied. Group economics gon' set things right. Inspire generation. New legislation. New Africa. One currency, army, passport, trifecta. Yeah, this is for real Pan-Africaners. No, be a regular just. We been too polite. For black dynamite, got me hype.
Like that.
Ashe. Peace to you, family. Hey, man, welcome back to Sankofa 180 degrees. We back at y'all again. Hey, man, that was hot. I like that, man. That was really hot. Yeah, Ashe. That's right, man. Zero justice, man. Always coming through with it, man. With that tough stuff. Hey, how's the family doing, man? I hope everybody is doing well. Yeah, hey, as y'all can see, we got Trump and the administration. Now we got the government. Is that has. So I just want to say this: there is an all-out war, family. We're in a war. We are directly in a war right now. And when I say war, I mean we are in a very serious war. And this war is waged against our history. Now Trump has now want to change the Smithsonian museums. He don't want, so they're trying. So what I'm saying, family, is The first Sunday every month, we do a children's book read for the children about our history, our true Black African history. We have to wake up, family. We gotta wake up now, man. It's getting to the point where it's getting too late now, right? Listen, man, you got the government involved now, man, heavily, right? And and so now instead of each state doing their thing with doing away with our Black African history, now we got the government, the United States government is trying to is going right along with it. So I'm just saying, family, we gotta wake up. Now's the time. We gotta fight this. And the only way we're gonna have to only way we can fight it is to bring it out. We gotta bring it out. We can't let them hide it. So this is what I'm saying. First Sunday every month, children's book read for the kids. We got every other Sunday for the kids and adults. But any other Sunday, I mean every single Sunday we're doing something. The first Sunday every month we do something especially for the kids, for the Black African history for the kids, right? Uh, and then other Sundays is for the kids and adults. Come on in, and we're gonna show you something. We're gonna show you something, and it's about our history. It's about us. And so this is what they're trying to hide, and we have to fight this. We can't let them do it. We got it. We can't. We can't let them win this. Okay. The only way that we're gonna be able to win this is to bring it out, bring the history out, right in their face, front and center, right? Vet your kids when they go to school. Look into what they're teaching them as far as historically. Watch, just keep an eye out of what they're pushing. Just watch it, and you will see what the new narrative is about our history. You know what I mean? So now so now they're hell bent on hiding our history. They made laws against it now, where you can't teach it in the school systems, right? You have like 20 plus states now that's on board with this, right? And now you got the government, the Donald Trump wants to take information out of the Smithsonian, the Smithsonian Institutes. Are you kidding me, man? Right? Ask yourself, family, why is it so important for them to do this? What is it?
He don't only want to take it out of the Smithsonian. He want to take it out to colleges, the schools, and any other museums.
Oh yeah. Well, he definitely they're already working on the schools. They should, like I said, 20 states of them, 20 plus states is already banning books and the teaching of Black African history. Here in Florida, if you go to jail, the school teacher, yeah, they get prosecuted for that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, and there's other states. So now you got Donald Trump is working on our museums, our historical museums, where we got a lot of historical data, I mean, information in there. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have to guess. It ain't no myth. It's right there. Facts. Right?
Right.
Right. And now they're tampering with this now. I mean, they've been doing that, but I'm just saying, we've had to fight a few issues about some of these historical events and times and places and people, right? But I'm just saying, for the most part, family, get on board with us. Sankofa 180 degrees. Every Sunday, we pushing something out here, man, on some historical data. Okay. And that's dealing with history. That's even dealing with parts of religions. And I say religions like S plural, more than one. Listen, come and check us out, family. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, peace to you, E. I see you, man.
Peace to y'all, fam. How y'all doing?
E in the house. What up, E, baby?
All right, man. Hey,
Just driving, getting off work, man. Just getting off the key.
that's right.
Glad you with us. You
Sir.
come in when Gerald presenting today, so you know it's coming.
Yeah, we
Hold
got
on, let
something.
me roll my windows up. Let me roll my windows up. Say that again.
I said Gerald presenting today, so you know it's something.
All right, if Gerald come with that five. He come with that five. Come with that five.
That's right. That's what he do, man. That's exactly what he does. That's what he do, man. Hey, and peace to the Queen Carrie. Excuse me.
Hi, um, this is Sankofa 180 degrees, and all are welcome. And King Gerald's presenting today, so it should be real good. And I'm always happy to be here when I can. Love all you guys. Thanks.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And my brother, what's happening, King?
My man, everybody's good over here, man. Hey, so you know, we like to do history, man, and come over to Sankofa and share some history with us, man. We got history for you, way past the 400 years of slavery, all that good, crazy stuff, man. Get back to the traditional culture, way things. I was talking to my big ups to my big cuz JP, JP Williams. We were just on the phone talking, man, and had a good conversation. And we was talking about traditions and stuff like that. And I told him how far we go back, and he's a historian himself. So hopefully he'll come back on sometime and stuff, man. But we just go back to the real history. And we was talking about, he was talking about the truths, what is the truth? That's all he's really interested in. What is the truth, right? And then he went to the cosmos and universe and stuff like that. And, just beautiful stuff, man. But, we go back to that. We go back to the pre-dynastic period, the Middle Kingdom, the Old Kingdom, the New Kingdom, starting with Narmer. You can go back 300,000 years and we can show you some skulls and stuff like that. So, we be down with stuff like that. Peace. I know Gerald got to get up out of here. So let's get this party started.
That's right, family. That's right, man. All right. Hey, I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Just one more thing, man. I just wanted to say to all the ancestors known and unknown, Ashe.
Ashe. Peace to you, my brother Gerald. Peace to you, King. Hey, man,
Gerald.
this is
RBG,
here we go,
baby,
family.
RBG.
We got the Christianity versus Kemetic spirituality. Okay, the truth they don't want you to know, family. This is the truth that they don't want you to know. When I say truth, I'm saying this is something that we can prove. I ain't talking about nothing you gotta just believe. This is something that you can literally prove. Okay, so let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Like I said, man, the truth they don't want you to know, family. Hey, go ahead, Gerald. Peace to you, King.
Hey, let me say this, man. Hey, my cousin JP, he wanted me to let you know that he got the revolutionary stuff all in his office. Right. Right. Yeah, so we're gonna get him on to kick it with you.
That's right.
Already. Yeah, I mean, a revolutionary is simply somebody who won't change. Simple as that. So we know that as Jamie was saying, all the problems that's going on, we now don't need change. You with me?
Right.
But you can be on the sideline and complaining, or you can get on the goddamn court. Get on the goddamn football field. Get in the game. And then you ain't being reactionary to what's going on. You're a part of it. You being a revolutionary. You making change. You're not just being, oh, somebody did this. Oh, somebody did that. Oh, you know what they're doing? No, it's like, move. We paying attention. You made that move. I'm gonna make a move, motherfucker. And I know you won't have to make another move because I made a good ass move. You don't have to make a move. I'm expecting you to make one. And when you make one, I'm gonna checkmate your ass. That's what it is. That's what it is. You gotta get in the game though. You gotta get in the game, and that's what we're trying to do. We are getting in the game. We're trying to present something for the people. All right, this is what's going on. When our grandchildren come and ask us, damn, I look back in 2025 and 2024, it looked like it was a takeover. You know, that y'all was getting strong. What was you doing, Grandpa? Well, that's what I was doing. I was trying to put out information. I was doing this. I was doing that. And you got a report of what you were doing. It ain't just talking about it, it's being about it. So, what I want to do today, dealing with our mentality. A lot of people call themselves woke. You know what I'm saying? Woke. So, woke on a spiritual level is basically saying, I reject Abrahamic faith. I'm returning to the source. So, I saw this video, it's about 20 minutes, and his brother is going to give a foundation dealing with that. I hit y'all, when I watched it, I ended up making me a little report of it. And I hit that to y'all. And again, y'all can look at it and, get a breakdown. But I don't want to go take no further. We're going to get into the video. It's about 20 minutes. And when anybody feel anything they want to stop and talk about it, we'll stop and talk about it right then.
Bet.
You know what I'm saying? That's how learning process is. You don't let the teacher go all the way to the end of the shit, then ask them about something. That teacher gonna look at you and say, why you didn't stop me then? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we learning. We don't know. They kept it from us. We didn't come in the world knowing about our history. We had to learn it. So we don't know. So it's not a big thing to say, stop. I don't know what you talking about, and you need to explain it to me. That's being smart when you're learning. If you don't say nothing and it goes over your head when you're supposed to be learning, you are a dummy. That's the dumbest motherfucker. When you went to school and you tried to be cool and not say nothing, and you didn't know nothing, and that's what you in school for to learn, look at my head going up. Oh no, I don't know. I'm here to learn. And I ain't embarrassed to say I don't know. That's why I'm there, to learn. So again, I don't mean to get all like that, but
Yeah.
we need
Shit, I
to
love
deal
it.
with the basics with Christianity and Semitic spirituality. And I'll open the floor back to you, Jamie. You can start this thing. That's how I'm at love.
Bug love, man.
That's right, family. All I'm gonna say is this, man. You know, it's just about history and what we can prove, family. You know what I'm saying? And so we just gonna show you, and you're gonna see.
You got back and say that last sentence, Jamie. You
You'll
faded.
better you'll better see the difference. That's all. You'll better see the difference. We're gonna show you this. And like I said, you'll better see the difference. Y'all see the screen, King?
Yep.
Okay.
Many of us leave Christianity with scars, emotional wounds from fear, guilt, and shame. For years, we're haunted by doctrines that told us we were broken, sinful, and unworthy. When we hear terms like reality, it's no wonder some of us fear falling into the same trap. But what if I told you there's a path that doesn't bind you to fear or judgment, but sets you free? Today we'll explore Kemetic spirituality isn't just another religion. It's the antidote to the psychological chains Christianity can leave behind. Hi, I'm Reginald Martin, an ex-Christian and founder of Kemetic Centered Living. For many deconverting Christians, leaving the church is just the first step. But even after stepping away, one fear often lingers. What if I end up trapped in another system of control? It's a valid concern. When we hear terms like spirituality or teachings, it's easy to wonder, am I just trading one set of rules for another? Here's where Kemetic spirituality is different. It's not another religion. It's where much of Christianity originated before its principles were altered and turned into dogma. True spiritual systems like Kemetic teachings don't demand worship or obedience. They guide you to understand universal principles and reconnect with your divine power within yourself. Kemeticism isn't the only path to spiritual liberation. There are many roads, but what makes it unique is this. It offers the tools to unravel the fear, control, and externalized dogma that Christianity imposed. Let's break it down. Let's uncover how Christianity took internal truths and turned them into external control, and how Kemetic spirituality empowers you to reclaim them.
People come to us and their teeth are so bad that they all need to be extracted. They all need to be taken out, and they need to get.
Section 1, the appropriation, from inward to outward. Did you know that much of what we see in the Bible actually has its roots in Kemetic spirituality? But over time, those teachings were altered and stripped of their original meaning. Ancient Kemet taught universal principles like Ma'at, balance, truth, and reciprocity, and concepts like resurrection. These weren't just abstract ideas. They were tools for self-awareness and emotional mastery, designed to help individuals align with their inner divinity and universal laws that govern all existence. When Christianity appropriated these teachings, it externalized them. Resurrection became a literal historical event rather than a multi-layered concept with personal and spiritual meaning. The universal balance symbolized by Ma'at became judgment from a wrathful God. By making these teachings rigid and external, Christianity shifted the focus from internal transformation to external control. Suddenly, individuals needed divine favor, clergy approval, and obedience to rigid doctrines to feel validated. This wasn't an accident. This shift created dependency on external systems of authority, hierarchies, clergy, and fear-based obedience. What once empowered individuals to align with universal principles became a tool to maintain control and power over them. The distinction between Christianity as a religion and Kemeticism as a spiritual system becomes even clearer when you
right now. That right now becomes the mediator between you and the Creator.
The cross?
No, when you put all them clergymen and all them people, you know, when you gotta go to church and they the ones that tell you what's right or wrong, or whoever you give the authority to.
Right.
You give it to your preacher, to your imam, to your rabbi, to your church, to your mosque, to your whatever. You done gave up your authority. You done made that the mediator between you and the Creator.
Bet.
Already.
Clear.
I'm good, Danny.
Right. That's what it does. And so what that does is that puts something in between you and your pretty much you and yourself, King.
Right.
Instead of you know what I'm saying. So now you don't have to take responsibility now.
There you go. That's the key word.
Now you don't have no responsibility now. All your
Ownership of your
responsibility.
own shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're
Yeah.
talking. Yes,
Right.
there you go.
And rewind it back 1 minute before you can keep talking, before you thought in there, Rewind it 1 minute and we'll hear it. After we done spoke on it, we'll understand it more what he said. Yeah,
Okay.
I understand exactly what he meant, but yeah, play it back.
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, that just takes you. You'll see. So your responsibility is gone now. You don't have no. There's no consequence. No consequence. It's just you can pawn it off now.
Right. Now, when you coming into Hermetic spirituality, that's what you're afraid of. You with me? You be
Right.
thinking, well, I'm the authority, ain't nobody telling me, and you get scared. You know what I'm saying? When you was learning wrong from the beginning, they not your fucking authority. You ain't gained that authority in them without knowing. Now that you knowing, you the authority, and you got the responsibility. And the only reason that you will run that is because you don't want responsibility. You want to keep that on them.
Right.
So me and Gerald was talking last night, and we was talking about the baptism, and how you have to have that mediator in there to baptize you. He's the Holy One and all this stuff, and we don't do that. We take showers every day. We ain't gonna wait until we go to get a baptism to get clean. You know, we take a shower every day. You know, we take a bath every day, and then we got the pool and stuff like that. And we was talking about, you get in there and it's a whole different thing because there's a power in that water. There's something. We don't deal with necessarily magical stuff, but there's something special within that water. And so when you bathing, you're doing that baptism. When you're in that bathtub and you sink underwater, especially as kids, you know, you cleanse yourself and stuff. Like, now that we adults and we know, we get in that shower and we start washing off that what they call sin, right? But what we need to address, you know, we need to address the confessions, right? I have not done, I will not do, right? And if I have done, then I shower and wash that off, you know, and it's a whole different mindset, right? And it was also talking about libations and the power of pouring libations and the power of that water, you know, that it has to do with the connection with the ancestors as well, right? So we don't need that mediator, you know, and it's so programmed into us that I get baptized, got to do this, got to go to this entity to get this done and things like that. No, it's so much different than Kemetic thought and in our traditional cultural processes, and so I just wanted to impart that. I think it's quite fitting with what we were just talking about.
Well said.
That's right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
He appropriated these teachings, it externalized them. Resurrection became a literal historical event rather than a multi-layered concept with personal and spiritual meaning. The universal balance symbolized by Ma'at became judgment from a wrathful God. By making these teachings rigid and external, Christianity shifted the focus from internal transformation to external control. Suddenly, individuals needed divine favor, clergy approval, and obedience to rigid doctrines to feel validated.
This is where they take the
That's
control.
the mediator
This is
right there. That's
this
the
is your
mediator.
control. This is where your control goes. This is where they take the control over you, and this is where they lead you. This is where, and this is what it was all meant to be. This was the whole intent, was to control the masses, and this is how they did it, and they're still doing it today. Look at them. Look at them. They're doing it
Right.
all right now today. They've been doing it. This ain't never stopped, right?
Yeah,
It never
and it ain't
stopped,
just the
King.
white man. It ain't just the white man. Them black boys up there doing it too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody else
It's
doing it.
it's
know,
just that
mentality.
I don't know if you want to call it, it's that virus, man.
Right, right,
I mean, I hate to, classify it as that, but I mean,
right.
what else is it? It's foreign. It's not it's foreign to you and your body, and that's a virus. You know what I mean? Like it's foreign to you. You're not supposed to have that. You know what I mean? That's not yours naturally. That was force fed. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. My bad.
You know, there ain't no bad in it.
There we go.
Remember, we just talked about it's bad if we don't speak
Wasn't
on
it?
it.
Right.
Already.
E, you all right?
Hold on just a second. Yeah, you got something, then carry.
No, I want to just after we finish watching, I got a couple statements, but yes, this is right on. We good. If I do, I'll cut back in.
Okay. Hey, Queen Carrie.
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Okay. You good? You good?
I'm
Gerald?
good.
Gerald, you
Good.
good?
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Accident. This shift created dependency on external systems of authority, hierarchies, clergy, and fear-based obedience. What once empowered individuals to align with universal principles became a tool to maintain control and power over them. The distinction between Christianity as a religion and Comedicism as a spiritual system becomes even clearer when
Running hurts. Tai Chi heals, especially after 50.
clearer when you examine their focus. As a religion, Christianity relies on external control, doctrines, rituals, and hierarchies designed to enforce obedience. Salvation is presented as something you must earn through external means, following rules, seeking divine approval, and fearing eternal punishment. Fear of hell and guilt over sin keep followers dependent on the system, creating what psychologists call an external locus of control. This system disempowers individuals by making them look outward for validation and purpose. Even the term flock tells you everything. It's about blind obedience, training people to follow rather than think for themselves. Comedic spirituality, like many spiritual systems, shift the focus inward. It's about transformation from within, becoming self-aware and aligning with universal principles like balance, reciprocity, and truth. Instead of worshiping an external deity, Comedic teachings remind you that the divine already exists within you. The divine spark or seed is something you nurture through self-reflection and personal growth. In this way, spirituality empowers you to create your reality and reclaim your agency, rather than relying on an external figure for approval and salvation.
Come on.
The core difference? By turning Comedic teachings outward, Christianity created the system that binds people to fear, guilt, and judgment. Comedic spirituality, in contrast, frees you to explore your own truth and reconnect with your own inner power. It's not about following someone else's rules. It's about learning to trust yourself and the signals that guide you toward a life of balance and alignment. Section 3. Christianity's psychological impact. But what's the cost of this distortion? The external focus of Christianity doesn't just limit spiritual growth, it leaves deep psychological scars that can last a lifetime. From the moment you're told we're born into sin, the message is clear. You're broken, corrupt, and unworthy on your own. Christianity created the doctrine of original sin to justify the need for an external savior. This idea that you're inherently flawed and incapable of redeeming yourself didn't exist in spiritual systems like Comedicism, where the focus was on developing the divine spark within. By creating this framework, Christianity externalized salvation, making followers dependent on a system to redeem them from a problem the system itself invented. The result? A constant cycle of guilt, shame, and feelings of inadequacy that destroy self-worth and lead to self-loathing. No matter how much you try, you're always falling short. The fear of hell, judgment, and divine wrath isn't just a tool to keep people compliant, it becomes a mental prison. Even after walking away from Christianity, the fear often lingers. The question haunts you, what if they were right? This fear fuels anxiety, self-doubt, and a paralyzing sense of getting it wrong. When salvation is external, something granted by clergy, a church, or a divine figure, you're never truly free. You're left waiting for permission to be worthy, approval to be enough, and validation to exist without guilt. This isn't spirituality. It's psychological bondage, trapping you in fear and dependency. But there is a path to healing. This is where Kemetic teachings.
All right. And they talking about when you come out and you have that feeling, what if I'm in the wrong thing? You know, whatever. In our mythology, right? In the Kemetic mythology, that's when you coming in yourself, right? You gotta look down in yourself when you are a baby. You are a little baby. You don't know enough. You on the right side, but you ain't got enough knowledge. So, as a baby, you don't get your ass kicked. You don't have doubts. You don't have fears and all that now. You gotta build your knowledge up. You with me?
Right.
Most of the time, you might see you'll mess with somebody, and they coming out of good energy, and that's what he's talking about right now. They have them doubts and them fears, right? But they don't build up no more information on him. They go back into the fears where they come from, and then that I'm going to hell. That whole concept right now, I'm going to hell. Without understanding that the original sin concept, that's the only thing gonna put you in hell. So if you ask somebody dealing with knowledge and help on the spiritual nature, and you ask them, do you believe in the original sin? Anybody who hunts on land and might cut you out, they all believe in that shit. Hell no, I believe in the original sin. But if somebody knew, then you know they're not on that level.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope y'all understand me.
Yeah. Yeah. I just sent you a message.
Yeah, I got it. That's what made me say that.
Yeah. And they can hear you clear. I'm just saying, you got the message, so.
All love.
Yeah.
So that's what that thing he was talking about. When people coming out, and then they kind of worried, they ain't getting their knowledge up. They might just be rejecting Christianity, but to reject Christianity don't mean you know nothing. You just rejecting it. Now you gotta know. Y'all rewind it 1 minute again for me, Jamie. And that'll sink in a little bit. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man.
Already.
By creating this framework, Christianity externalized salvation, making followers dependent on a system to redeem them from a problem the system itself invented. The result? A constant cycle of guilt, shame, and feelings of inadequacy that destroy self-worth and lead to self-loathing. No matter how much you try, you're always falling short. The fear of hell, judgment, and divine wrath isn't just a tool to keep people compliant, it becomes a mental prison. Even after walking away from Christianity, the fear often lingers. The question haunts you, what if they were right? This fear fuels anxiety, self-doubt, and a paralyzing sense of getting it wrong. When salvation is external, something granted by clergy, a church, or a divine figure, you're never truly free. You're left waiting for permission to be worthy, approval to be enough, and validation to exist without guilt. This isn't spirituality. It's psychological bondage.
Get that.
I'm going to teach you a simple trick my husband does to stay hard for over 2 hours and last more than 3 rounds without using a single pill. Did you know your bat isn't getting hard because your arteries are clogged with toxins that block blood flow? Well, that's when my doctor taught me a valuable lesson. Drinking coffee with salt and 3 other ingredients completely clears the blocked veins of your baseball bat. Just 13 seconds and done. So much blood in your hammer, it'll be hard for any woman not to be impressed. And it's so easy to do. Plus,
That
of course,
skip, Jamie.
Man, trapping you in fear and dependency. But there is a path to healing. This is where Kemetic teachings offer freedom and restoration. They allow you to see what the original teachings were before Christianity altered them, helping you to heal on two profound levels. Number one, reclaiming truth. You gain an understanding of the universal principles that Christianity stole and distorted, reconnecting with their empowering and liberating roots. Number two, releasing fear. By unlearning dogma, you can begin to shed the fear, guilt, and anxiety that Christianity implanted, freeing yourself from psychological bondage. Kemetic spirituality isn't about replacing one system with another. It's about helping you rediscover the truth and reclaim your inner power. Section 4. Kemetic spirituality as healing and liberation. Kemetic spirituality was never about fear or dependency. It's about empowerment. It offers liberation not just from external control, but also from the internal conflict that Christianity often creates. Let's start with emotions. Emotional mastery. In Christianity, emotions like desire, anger, or sadness are often framed as obstacles to spiritual growth. Desire is labeled as sinful. Anger is seen as dangerous, and sadness is treated as a lack of faith. This perspective pits you against your own emotional compass, leaving you disconnected from your mental health and physical well-being. Think about it. If you're taught that your desires are sinful and your sadness is a failure to trust God, how are you supposed to process those feelings? The result is suppression. But suppressed emotions don't disappear. They fester. Over time, they manifest as guilt, anxiety, and even physical illness. Kemetic spirituality offers a radically different approach. It teaches that emotions aren't enemies, they're signals. Desire reveals what you value. Sadness invites reflection and healing. Anger is energy asking for direction. Instead of suppressing these feelings, Kemetic teachings encourage you to explore and channel them as tools for growth. Your emotions become allies, guiding you back to alignment with your higher self and the universal principles that govern creation. Recognizing your divine nature. One of the most damaging teachings of Christianity is the idea that you're inherently teaches that you're broken, corrupt, and unworthy. Without divine intervention, you're doomed. Think about what this does to your sense of self. How can you truly love or believe in yourself when your worldview is built on the belief that you're fundamentally wrong? This creates a cycle of shame, low self-esteem, and dependence on external validation for any sense of worth. Kemetic spirituality offers a completely different perspective. You're not flawed, you're divine. In Kemetic teachings, you're a spark of the infinite, a unique expression of universal energy. You're not here to be saved, you're here to live as a co-creator of your reality. Your worth isn't something you have to prove, it's something you already possess. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Recognizing your divinity inspires you to live in harmony with the world around you. It shifts you from a mindset of fear and guilt to one of empowerment and responsibility. Christianity often emphasizes waiting for salvation, waiting for divine intervention, waiting to be worthy. This passive mindset keeps you trapped, always hoping for something outside yourself to create change. Kemetic spirituality, by contrast, teaches you to align with universal principles to shape your reality. One of the most profound is Ma'at, the cosmic principle of balance, reciprocity, and truth. In practical terms, Ma'at reminds us that our inner world shapes our outer experiences. If your inner world is filled with fear, guilt, and doubt, common legacies of Christianity, that will be reflected in your reality. But when you cultivate your inner world with intention, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with balance and harmony, your life begins to reflect those qualities. This approach is active, not passive. Instead of waiting for salvation, you take responsibility for your journey. You're not at the mercy of an external force. You're an empowered participant in the unfolding of your life. The emotional and psychological impact of these two systems couldn't be more different. Christianity tells you to reject your desires, suppress your emotions, and view yourself as inherently flawed. Over time, this creates a deep sense of internal conflict, a battle between who you are and who you're told you should be. Kemetic spirituality does the opposite. It invites you to embrace your emotions as guidance, recognize your divinity, and align with universal principles. Instead of conflict, it fosters harmony within yourself and with the world around you. This isn't just a spiritual shift, it's a psychological one. Kemetic spirituality heals the wounds left by dogma, helping you reconnect with your inner compass and live authentically. It's not about waiting and hoping for redemption. It's about realizing you had the power all along. Section 5. Why Kemetic spirituality is not a religion. So, is Kemetic spirituality just another religion? The short answer is no. But let's dive deeper into why. For some, the practices of rituals, altars, and ceremonies of initiation may seem religious. And while these traditions can hold personal meaning, they're not the essence of Kemetic spirituality. The focus isn't on external acts, it's on internal transformation. Kemetic spirituality is about discernment and self-guidance. It's not about following someone else's teachings blindly. Instead, it encourages you to reflect on what resonates with you, find meaning in it, and integrate it into your life. Here's 3 aspects that makes Kemeticism fundamentally different from religion. Number 1, no central authority. There's no clergy or institution dictating what you should believe or how to live your life. In Kemetic spirituality, your journey is self-directed, and you are the ultimate authority over your path. Number 2, no worship or fear. In religion, worship is often tied to fear, appeasing a deity or avoiding punishment. Kemetic spirituality rejects this framework. Symbols like Ma'at and Tehuti aren't gods to be feared or appeased. They're archetypes representing universal principles. Ma'at symbolizes balance, truth, and harmony. Tehuti represents wisdom, reflection, and power of thought. Rather than worshiping something external, you embody these principles, aligning your actions and mindset with them. Number 3, inner transformation, not outer rituals. Salvation isn't something granted by following rules or rituals. It's not external, it's internal. Kemetic spirituality teaches that growth and liberation come from aligning with universal principles through self-awareness, intentional action, and reflection. Everything you need already exists within you. Your role is to uncover it, nurture it, and bring it into alignment with your higher self.
Hey, I just want to say this, man, real quick. This is what I say when these people get the misconception that we worship multiple gods. And the way he explained that was perfect. Like it had nothing to do with a god. We're dealing with principles. He gave you the principles of Tehuti. Tehuti, and they gave you the principles of Ma'at. That's just 2 of them, right? But they're not gods. They're principles, and they are supposed to be applied to your life in some kind of way, right? That's what you follow. You don't follow a bird-headed dude. You don't follow that. And this is what I'm saying. You guys are so used to having something to follow. You don't have to follow something. You don't have to follow a book. You don't have to follow a person. Right? So that's all I'm saying, man. It's about principles. We don't follow Tahuti. We we take it, we take what he represents and applies to our lives. Same thing with my aunt. We take what she represents and apply it to our lives. Right? That's it. It ain't about, oh, you got 100 gods. No. They're just a way of teaching. They're teaching tools. That's it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, man.
we was just talking, we just had a conversation about this group of people that is claiming that the natural are real. And I just don't see how you can feel how you can and that's the misinformation to me, right? I just don't see how you can prove that. And so thus it is coupled with, you know, the concept of we got many gods, and so Jamie just cleared that up. Thank you.
Even if they weren't real, it wouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We don't worship humans, we don't worship nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of it. Now, looking at different attributes or principles, which we recognize as being true, don't mean we worship in it. We just doing what's natural. Who got a problem with balance? Who got a problem with order? Who got a problem with truth? You know what I'm saying?
That's what you wash off when you're in the shower. You ain't got to wait to go get no baptism.
So when we're dealing with those principles, we're not worshiping nothing. We're just dealing with the principle.
Morality. It's morality. I mean,
Who got a problem with that? Go ahead, Jamie. Again, why would somebody even have a problem with it?
right. Nobody should have a problem with just showing or learning some type of moral codes, right? And you say you got the 10 Commandments, but I mean, just read them and read the 42. 42 was here thousands of years before the 10 Commandments. So just read them, and then you tell me what you think.
Yeah. And again, as the statement saying, rather than worshiping something external, you embody these principles. Align your actions and mindset with them. I don't see what the problem with that is.
Right. Personal desires, man. You know.
And
One of the main.
What'd you say, E?
Go ahead, King. Go ahead, E.
Bluetooth. Hold on, homie. I'm trying to get my Bluetooth going.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Yep.
It just seems like one of the main problems is just the process of indoctrination. It has been going on for so long, and and forcefully going on that, man, is you that has changed the way, probably deeply changed our DNA in some manner or something, but not to that deep. But the point is, deeply ingrained in our psyche because it's been going on for so long and it's been implemented as a system for so long that it's hard for people to accept anything outside of that, because you've been told that if you do this, this will happen. So you fearfully reject anything outside of the Abrahamic faith because that's what you're gonna give it. That's this part of it. Just my spiel.
That's
Long time.
That's a big.
I'm gonna walk the rail, E. You with me?
Huh?
I'm gonna walk the rail with you.
He finna go off the rail, he said.
You came up into Christianity or something. What you came up in?
I came up with my parents, definitely Christianity. That was it. But me personally,
tell me, how did you
I never had.
How did you break the cycle? What happened with you to make you open minded? Because we all came up in it. So what was your journey?
Let me tell you. first and foremost, I may not have had the same experience of you or anybody else. I've never been baptized. I've never been claiming Jesus was my savior. I went to a church because I was told to go to a church by older people.
Right.
But my father, he didn't push that. He didn't push that shit for none of his children. So me being my father's child, shit, I ain't have to go. He didn't go. So it wasn't wasn't nobody pushing me to say, oh, Sunday morning, you getting your ass up and going. Shit. So I didn't have that pressure like other people may have had that pressure.
Yeah.
I grew up around other folks who had it. I didn't have it. I never had that pressure. Neither my brother we didn't have it. My mother went. My dad didn't go. When my dad started going, he was goddamn retired from working in his 70s. He decided to start to go to church as a social thing, I guess. But no, that was never my reality. So I can't speak to people who they've been forced to go. I was never forced. So when it came something that somebody said, and I'm telling you, like I said before, that shit came to me pretty much. My first inkling of something was through hip hop. Through hip hop, as a teenager, a youngster, listen to hip hop, and that sent me to the books. That sent me to the books, and you know, shit. Yeah, it was hip hop. Yep.
Who
Yep.
was
And
you
I don't know if it
listening to?
was.
Who was you
I don't know
listening
if
to?
you. Oh,
X-Clan.
it was strictly East Coast at that point. Yeah,
X-Clan.
You know,
I
Yeah,
already
I
know who
bet
it
you.
is.
I bet you was
Yeah.
X-Clan was one of
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So definitely East Coast. So anybody brand newbie, all them brothers who was representing the East Coast, that's what we was listening to, and the more conscious, the better, because we was like, was send us to the books. What did he just say? Oh, we got to look that shit up. So that was the attraction for me. So I never had that. I never had that, but no. And I think because my daddy was from the South, and that was one thing that he was had to do, whatever. I guess he was like, shit, I'm not doing that for my children. That ain't happening. You know, my grandmama, if I spent the night over there that Saturday, oh, it was an expectation. So imagine me, where I'm not gonna be on the Saturday night. No, I ain't gonna be at grandma's house. Hell no.
That's right.
I know the
That's
play.
right.
No,
Hey, you'll be there every day
man.
except for
I'm gonna be with the
Saturday.
rules and loose. Shit, come on, man. I get that stuff done at grandma's house early Saturday, going to cut her grass and shit. But Saturday evening come, no, I'm back in my side of town where the
Right.
rules are different. Shit.
Damn
No, but
right.
no, so I can't speak to it. But let me tell you, my friend who lived direct, my best friend to this day, lived directly across the street, not directly, but across the street from me, a few houses down, same block. His father was a pastor. So
Ooh.
not only did he have to go to church on that every Sunday, it was Bible study during the week.
Tuesday,
It was
Wednesday,
choir
Thursday.
practice or something because
Damn right.
yeah, so he was like in church like maybe 2 days within the week, and then for sure comes Sunday. So that was totally different. That was a shock to me just seeing that, and the bus coming to pick him up and stuff like that. And you know, Thursdays was their day. They would go out and take the kids to do something with the children, and they go do church. You know, so it sounded like they had activities going on when I saw it happening. I'm saying, okay, y'all doing this, y'all doing that, but I was, I just never. Nobody ever made me go to church. Ain't nobody ever made me go. Maybe Easter speech and none of that shit. I never did it. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it feel like. Like Uncle was saying, shit, shower, dipping in some water. I do that daily. So I don't know what being baptized mean to me. What it does to me. If motherfucker told me in the name of the Father and the Holy Ghost, I'm gonna dip in this water. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of that. Shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Can't speak to it. Can't speak to it, bro.
You didn't go through a psychological breakup with Jesus and then like that. And where like you turning your back on Christianity, like some people go through.
Right.
Right.
No, I ain't had that feeling. But you know what I did do? I understood there was something written in ourselves.
Hmm?
Yeah, no,
Jamie, you didn't have that either, didn't you? You didn't really.
No, man. My mama never. She didn't even believe. My mama didn't believe in none of that. She didn't believe in none of that either, man. And like I said, my mama was teaching us about Christopher Columbus and what he didn't do, and the flag, and don't participate in that flag. You know what I mean? And That's what my mom was teaching us. You know what I'm saying? That shit like that. It wasn't nothing about no God and no Jesus and none of that, man. And none of that coming to the house. We ain't even had nothing. We ain't even have a cross in the house or a picture. We ain't had none of that stuff in the house. Ain't none of that, but with none of that in the house. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Tell
all
you.
right.
So no, wasn't none of that in there. No, you couldn't find none of that in there. But you
Nah,
find the Bible in there. You find the Bible, but that's far as you gonna get. That's far as you
yeah,
gonna get right there with that. You know what I'm saying? You
nah,
find it. You know what I
nah.
mean? Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Right now, what I
Go ahead.
appreciate,
Hold up. Eric
what
wanted to
I
say something.
okay,
Yeah.
Go.
my bad. I was gonna say what I appreciated about the upbringing is that there was I understood where my grandmama and them were with their belief and how it how it transferred over to their behavior. So I didn't I didn't have my grandma who went to church. She wasn't the one who went to church and then come out cussing and drinking. She wasn't a drinker. She wasn't a smoker. She dipped snuff, but she seemed to, in my mind, not looking at it, had some principles in which she lived by. And she always told her sons to do the right thing and taught the girls to do so and so, so and so. But like I said, never, no, unless I stayed there, I'm going to church.
You
know.
going
I
to
wasn't
church?
there.
So
No.
your ass been there. Your ass been up in there with him.
No,
Oh,
he know what
shit.
time it is. He
Look,
know what time it is on
I
Saturday.
knew what time.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I wasn't going over there. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't
yeah,
doing that. No, but I,
E,
but
e, e,
I
e, e,
did
did,
know.
e, did you go to church with her?
Yo, I went when I was like 6 or 7, but
Right,
I
right,
caught on to
right.
that shit real quick. But
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't 12 or 15, 13 going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere to
Exactly,
church as a
exactly.
teenager.
Hey, because them
No,
black folk
hell
gonna
no,
get your
man.
ass up in
Fuck
there.
no. Oh, with
Yeah.
the grandmas, yeah, but no. My daddy ran our household, so it wasn't that wasn't it. That wasn't gonna happen. Mama had no say over what once the daddy said they didn't have to go. Shit, that was over. Wasn't no more discussion. Well, no more to talk about as far as that, but anything else, he got to go in with his wife. But as far as that go, he was strong on that one. So maybe his experience, whatever, growing up, and down south, or like maybe was his experience, he didn't feel like he needed to have us go through that. So he let that slide. But I, still had a connection with my grandma in prayer and that kind of thing, and understood there was powers greater than myself. But I couldn't see myself in that until I started studying me and studying what the Africans had understood. Then it made sense. Like, God damn. But no, I didn't have no conflict with nothing. Even to listen to Farrakhan speak and going to hear him speak in person and buying videos and stuff, I wasn't convinced with it. The nation. No,
Right,
I wasn't convinced. As a teenager, I wasn't convinced. No, I wasn't convinced with that. But
right.
I like the principles, and I love watching the fruit of Islam uh, move around and how the discipline they were. So it made sense to have that discipline in your life for sure.
right.
But to attach it to that, I had nothing grab me from inside. Nothing grabbed me from inside, brother. Get back over here. Come here.
Hey, and that's exactly
Yeah,
how it
nothing grabbed
happened
me,
with
man.
me, man. I couldn't. I studied with a lot of them, and it was like, nah, I just ain't nah. The Nation of Islam, I remember studying with them. Derek Blocker, I studied with the Derek Blocker and
Yeah.
all them, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
Laprice little brother. Yeah,
Right,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
no
saying?
doubt.
So yeah, I studied with all them brothers, man, and I used to be all at at his little bookstore and everything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Even when I wasn't, incarcerated, man, I still, check, was checking in on them. You know what I mean? But and a lot of other different denominations, man. But nothing grabbed me, man. I mean, it was interesting. I liked some of the things I didn't understand. Some of the things I understood. You know what I mean? Like you said, the discipline of the Nation of Islam. I liked it that. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Yes,
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean?
For
The
sure.
discipline of the Sunni Muslims. I like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. My partner's
The
Sunni. Yep.
and then when you go to like the Melanics or or the
Well, he
Moors. You know what I'm
was
saying?
king.
And I like the, I like the militant type. You know what I'm saying? The Melanics, they was more militant. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Moors was,
Mm-hmm.
they was a little, they was a little into the they was ready to ride. You know what I mean? Same,
Mm-hmm.
so it was a lot of things that I liked about them, man. I liked it. Some of the organizations, they was organized. You know what I mean? Which was
Yeah.
good, man. A good thing. So I liked it a lot of that, man. They had a good structure. You know what I mean? A lot of different ones had good structure that you could take from. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
as far as
Mm-hmm.
committing to them, nah, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't feel right about it. So I did the
Mm-hmm.
just I just
No,
kept
I
on
understand. Mm-hmm.
searching it until, like I said, I ran across. I started running. I was listening to Farrakhan a lot. Then it
Mm-hmm.
something shipped me to switched me to the Hebrew Israelites, and then I started seeing them doing debates with brothers, and I was like, well, wait a minute now, hold it. You know what I mean? And that's where it just that's I was off and running, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I was off and running,
Okay.
man. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? I
Yeah.
would never seen it before, you know what I mean? I seen the
Right.
Hebrew Israelites, but I never
Right.
heard of no Kemetic thought. Never heard of that, man. Never, I heard now, of course I knew about Egypt, right? I knew about Egypt, how, what I used to
Yeah.
call the hieroglyphs, you know what I'm saying, and the pyramids and the Sphinx and
No.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
knew about the basics, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? The little basics, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I didn't associate that with Kemetic thought.
Not at
never,
all.
never thought,
No.
never would have associated that like together, man. That there was some teachings behind that. You know what I'm saying? And never would have thought about that, man. Never even crossed my mind, King. So yeah, and like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
was off and running. But I'm sorry, man. I done took us somewhere else, man.
Oh, man, that's good.
It's all
Hey,
good, man.
hey, but we got a couple of more minutes, man. Here we go.
Actions and mindset with them. Number 3, inner transformation, not outer rituals. Salvation isn't something granted by following rules or rituals. It's not external, it's internal. Kemetic spirituality teaches that growth and liberation come from aligning with universal principles through self-awareness, intentional action, and reflection. Everything you need already exists within you. Your role is to uncover it, nurture it, and bring it into alignment with your higher self. Kemetic spirituality is about reclaiming your power, aligning with universal truths, and living authentically. It's not about external worship, it's about mastering your inner world. When you let go of external systems of control, you step into a space of freedom and self-agency. This isn't a new religion, it's a return to the universal principles that have always been within you. Section 6. Reclaiming Kemetic Wisdom. It's time to reclaim what was lost. The wisdom of Kemet wasn't about control, it was about liberation. Christianity turned these universal truths into dogma, but the original teachings remain. You are divine, you are capable, and the power to align with the universe lies within you. Kemetic spirituality isn't about replacing one belief system with another. It's about returning to something older, freer, and truer. It's not about rules or fear. It's about rediscovering your connection to the divine within and aligning with the universal principles that guide us all. This path is one of healing, growth, and reclaiming the inner power you've always had. It teaches you to trust your emotions as guides and to create a life of balance, authenticity, and purpose. If this resonates with you, let me help you take the next step. I've created a free resource to help you on this journey. It's called the Guide to Developing Your Internal Locus of Control with Kemetaphysics. This guide is designed to gently walk you through the process of shifting from external dependency to an internal locus of control, reconnecting with your power and purpose. Inside the guide, you'll discover how to 1. Recognize your emotions as powerful signals guiding you toward alignment. 2. Reframe fear-based beliefs into empowering ones that reflect your truth. And 3, align with universal principles like balance, reciprocity, and harmony to create a life that reflects your true potential. The guide isn't a rule book or a rigid plan. It's a starting point. It's a resource to help you connect with your inner compass and begin a life aligned with your highest self. Your path to empowerment begins with a single step. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to download the guide to developing your internal locus of control with Metaphysics below. Thank you for watching and for exploring this journey with me. While there are many ways to connect with universal principles, the Kemetic system offers a unique opportunity to uncover truths hidden beneath dogma. It's not just about deconstructing old beliefs, it's about building something new and authentic, something aligned with who you truly are. If you found value in this video, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from these ideas. Together, we can reclaim the wisdom that has always meant to set us free.
Hey, so I gotta I know Gerald got to go pretty soon, but if other people want to stay, I want to play this video. It's about 18 minutes. It's 28 minutes, but he just starts talking about it after 18 minutes, and it's really complimentary to this to me. So you guys can decide if you want to do that.
Yeah, man. No, come on, roll it, man. You know, we gotta have it, man. We gotta have it, man. Look,
Yeah,
man, we gotta have it like a, you know, like we gotta have it, man.
We gotta have it like a wabbit.
We gotta have it. We gotta have it like
Yeah.
you know, really, like right now, not now, right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Let Gerald continue to do what he's doing now.
Hey, but yeah, okay, so family, that was the end. Hey, man, I love the brother Rezi, man. The
Yeah,
brother,
man, he
Mr.
real
Martin,
good, man. He
I,
real.
I've seen that brother before, man. I watched him before too on several occasions, man. So he
keep it
hey, my man,
grassroots.
he know exactly. He know what he talking about, man. He knows what he's talking about, family. Y'all check him out on other channels. Go ahead, Gerald.
Hey, he keep it really simple too, man. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
It's in depth. It's in depth, but it's really simple stuff, man. And you know, Gerald introduced you know, to present grassroots and stuff, and that's the epitome of it to me. So
he just did a side by side right there, man.
right.
He just did one right there, man. Like you can't. I mean, it's right there. He's showing you the difference right there, man, and where even where the concept come from. Go ahead, Gerald. My bad. Go ahead.
Gerald, you there?
Unmute yourself if you're talking, King. There, not. Hey,
He must have to go help Auntie for a minute.
Yeah, he'll be back. Hey, but yeah, man. I'm just saying. I like this brother, man. I like the way he teach, man. Family, if y'all, you know, check it out. If you know, nice video. Reginald Martin, that's the brother's name. Look him up. He's got a lot of videos, man, and there's some really good information. Really good information. Go ahead.
So when I came across him, man, I had come out of I was you know, conditioned listening to them debates and stuff, right? And so Sonetta and Seti and you know, Polite and you know, a few other cats, and so when I ran into Reg, I said, man, this is a little bit too soft, man. I can't mess with my boy, man. You know, it just makes it too easy, you know. And but then I got back on it, man, and this shit just fire to me. Hey, I'm gonna plug this other one in. Carrie, you want to say something?
I do. You know, I was raised, my mom and sister and I lived with my grandma who was really religious, and we had to go to church. I mean, we either had to be in the hospital or had a doctor's thing that said why we couldn't be there. And it wasn't until I started joining in with you guys that I started to know myself and believe in myself and believe my intuition that I was right. That I could feel it. I remember sitting in church and thinking, my grandma said, just pray and ask God to fill you with his Holy Spirit. And I would do that over and over and over. I felt nothing. And when I came into these rooms, I started to feel, I started to believe in me. And then that changed my whole life. I deal with a lot of stuff, and I know we all do. And, from Trump on down. And I, I, I'm really thankful for you guys and for your teachings. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm glad you jumped in and shared, Carrie. Went to catch you on that other end. But I'm glad you jumped in. And that's what the one thing that this is giving her is that boldness. You ain't leaving me out unless I say so. Right.
That's right. That's right.
So that's pretty powerful.
But yeah, man, I mean, you took control back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of praying to somebody to somebody else to come in and to do something for you. You know what I'm saying? Like to help me do something or whatever, or help something do something, whatever it is, whatever you're asking for. You know what I mean?
That's
Instead,
right.
and so what you did is you took that power back because now you know that it ain't nobody gonna do nothing for you. You're gonna have to do it for yourself because if you sit down and wait for it to happen and just pray, it ain't gonna get done till you do it. You know what I'm saying? So we know that for a fact. That's a fact, right? And anybody got any doubts on that? I'd like you to try that. Just say for the next 6 months, you ain't gonna pay your mortgage on your house. You know what I'm saying? And just don't pay it, and just pray that God get it done for you, and see what gonna happen after that 6 months. I just want to see if you're gonna still be there, or what kind of process you're gonna be in at that point. But
you only gonna be able to put a month on that. Motherfuckers ain't playing in these days, boy. You're lucky you get a month on it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but yeah, E, what you think, man? What you think about it, King? E, you there? You there? Okay, well he'll be back. Hey, Gerald, what you think, King? So you there,
There you
E?
go. There you go.
Yeah. What you think?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yep. Yes, sir.
We can hear you, E.
Oh, no, what's wrong?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Check this out. What y'all think about this? Here's a question. At the time that they were implementing Christianity, who y'all think it was for? Who the people? Who do you think they wanted to give this to?
Say it again now.
Who do you think it was for? I'm saying, like,
Who do you think this
who were
Christianity
the
was
people
for?
you think? Yeah, who you think? Because we know Constantine did, but who were the people he was trying to convince of this? Who do you think those people were?
Neanderthals.
Were they the Africans? Were they the Africans you think, or were they their own people who they're going later on need to fight in these wars and to also be the ones to be ready to die for this shit?
Well, it was their own
So
people
who do
first.
you think?
It was their own people
So
first. They had to.
exactly.
They
So
had to
bro,
spread it to the. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
some
they.
will say
Yep, that's right.
some will say that they would recruit some of the black people, but I don't think they really wasn't interested in it, right? They really wasn't interested in
No.
them
It
being
wasn't until
recruited or
right.
benefiting from it at all. That's what I think.
Force. That's true.
And
Now,
people deny
next
that there
question.
was force. And some people even ask, to give an example of what it looked like when they forced them into Christianity, right? So they throw that argument out there.
Well, there's no argument. There's historical records already say. Look what the conquistadors
Exactly.
did.
There's
Exactly.
no argument. There's historical record already saying what they did. They went in and came in and slaughtered people who didn't accept Christianity. Period. That was
Right.
it. That's not even an argument. The point is, who were the people that was easily, I'm not going to say easily, who accepted this doctrine and were willing to die for it? But what was their mindset? What was their mindset? How could they buy into that shit
because they
for so long to the
seen
point where they actually saw their kids dying in the fields and shit and being slaughtered? But that shit should have like somebody was saying that shit should have happened, lasted a couple of years, and after people woke the fuck up. All right, this shit over. Fuck this. This is done.
Right. Right.
hey man, they
What mindset could
realized
they have had?
they realized that they realized the the harmony that that Ma'at pushed, that they had to push, that so they seen it as a control mechanism, and so they knew it, that it was a way that they could control their people. Once they
Yeah,
were able to
yeah.
control their people, and that was through force. That was through force as well, because they was killing each other about, if you didn't, if you know, if you didn't believe in this Bible, or you know what I'm saying. Before, it was if you believed in it, they was killing you. Then they was like, no, if you didn't believe in it, then it was killing you. So it was just depend, you know what I'm saying. It depends on who was in power. But these people knew the control that would have over the masses, and that was the point of it. They, because then they didn't believe it. They didn't believe in none of that stuff. Constantine didn't believe
No,
in none of that stuff. He didn't believe in none of that.
no, no, no,
None
no,
of that, man.
exactly.
So
So
what I'm saying is,
right,
it was a way of them controlling the masses, and they knew it worked,
yeah.
because you know what I'm saying. They knew it worked. Fear mongering.
But
You
could
gonna go to
could
hell,
that
or you gonna get your head cut off.
so you think you were dealing with a people who had a weaker mind, a weaker mindset, or I don't know. Do you think they were slower?
Well,
You
I mean,
because
okay.
you
So
damn
now,
near
now,
when
now,
you look at
now
this
you
shit
going to
now.
something else, because we could go. We
I think it was
See,
just I
see,
think it was
but
different
this God
advancements,
damn.
man. You know, they were
Now wait
definitely
a minute. Now
advanced.
wait a minute. Now because look, were they? Were they?
I'm
Because
I'm I'm saying
look,
that they were
man,
advanced in barbarianism. That's
you
for
can still
sure.
go. Oh yeah, yes sir. You can still go up in the mountains, man, and see some of the people. Y'all got the video already. So who was they dealing with? What kind of people were they dealing with? Who was
that's
they
the
trying to
kind of people.
indoctrinate?
That's the kind of people they were dealing with.
See, okay,
See,
see, that's what I'm getting at.
You talk so you talking about them third leg,
Oh my
no.
them round the way
God.
boys.
See? So now, if you look, so now you dealing with a motherfucker who ain't got his right mind, and you giving them some shit like this, and then those who don't accept it right away, you put a little heat on their ass. That was easy. That was easy for the
Yeah.
motherfuckers to go ahead and accept that shit. And then the spoils was if you can go somewhere else and
Hey,
take somebody
listen.
else's shit in the
Hey, man.
oh
But if
man, that
they,
was it,
if I, hey, but listen. Hey, they wasn't so crazy where
man.
they didn't understand that when they partner head roll over there by their foot. Hey, that hey, but when hey, because he didn't believe, hey, they gonna hurry up and believe. So they wasn't that damn right. They
Goddamn
understood
right.
that much, right? They
You
understood
goddamn
that when
right.
hey, when your partner
Shit.
said no,
Woo-wee.
I believe in Serapis, or 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 uh or 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 Hathor, or something, the golden
Right,
calf, right?
right.
I believe in the golden calf, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we gonna cut he cut his head off, and he ain't
Boy,
gonna believe in that. And
cut your head right off.
the next one, he ain't gonna believe in
He
the
go
golden calf
he
no
gonna
more.
hell no. He gonna be
Nah,
a
man.
devout Christian that quick.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Straight up devout.
he just
He gonna
rolled
be able
his
to
head over
recite
here
good
by me.
scripture and shit.
His head just
Oh
rolled
yeah.
over here by
That
me, and
motherfucker
you
be
think I'm
reciting
finna
scripture real
say
quick.
I'm not finna
Oh
say the
no.
same thing he just said. Whatever he just
For
said,
real? No.
nah,
Hell
man,
no.
not right now. No, we're gonna have to figure this out later on. But right now, I'm what you saying here, Chris? Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Right.
I'm going with it
Right
because
now, yeah,
if
man.
if
So
what we yeah because reason I asked because you think about it now they saying no woke, no to woke. They don't want you to be aware. Don't want you to. So you you was playing on somebody's intelligence even back then. You was playing on your own people's intelligence, manipulating them to go die for you, go
Right.
steal for you, rape, rob, and pillage for you, and lose their own humanity. They goddamn. In the meanwhile,
well,
you told them to go ahead, take this shit, and you could go do whatever you wanted to do.
the Bible
Do whatever you wanted to
influences
do.
that though. The Bible
Yes.
influences that
What
though.
a shit,
They don't want you to
man,
know.
please.
They didn't want you to know between the good
You
the
got
difference between good and evil or good or bad
no,
or they didn't want you to know that.
no,
He was pissed
no.
because y'all
Hell
figured that
no.
out. He
No.
didn't want you to know the difference
Yeah.
between good or bad.
No.
So he
No. No. Uh-uh.
and there's other scriptures in there that let you know that you ain't supposed to be thinking for yourself. No, we
You
don't
better
want you
believe it.
thinking for
You
yourself.
better believe it.
You think that
So
you just think all you think about is the script that I gave you, and that's how you live your
right.
life
So
through this script.
Hey, hold on just a minute.
right. And so even then,
Hold
back
on just
then,
a minute. Hold
go
on
ahead.
just a minute, E. Let's get Gerald to finish
Okay.
up because he gotta
Yeah,
go. And
right.
E, don't forget what you was gonna say though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's get
Go ahead,
Gerald to
go
because he
ahead,
gotta
Gerald.
go.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, listening to the presentation, listening on it, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all was happy with it, you know what I'm saying? I think everybody, I had ended up making a little long, um, or whatever you want to call it, all the points that he was making on now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And put it
I
into
sent it to Carrie too.
already, you know what I'm saying? But, nah, y'all keep building. I must be stuck.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all keep building. I don't know
Okay,
what's
man.
going on. Yeah.
I
And
know
power love, man.
your little broke ass shit over there.
Let's start back up.
Yeah, you see what yeah. Y'all keep
Hey,
building and I get that with y'all Friday. Power love.
hey, I'll send you the recording of this and then you can watch the end of it if you want to.
Already.
All
I
right.
had y'all in.
Thanks, Netcher.
All right, King. Peace to
Already,
you.
never.
All
Hey,
right, peace, homie.
uh, hey, but yeah, go ahead, King. It was raining.
No, let he finish what he was on one.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. My bad. Go ahead.
Thank you, Gerald.
You're welcome, Gary. Go ahead, E.
Hold on. Let me get my mic right. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Hold on. All right. Bluetooth. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, awesome. All right, one moment. Give me one moment. Okay.
Okay, bet. Yeah, he on one. He's saying, what kind of people are they? Are they smart people or are they vulnerable or are they, mischievous or whatever,
hmm
wrong turn.
Because if you talking about Adam and Eve, you talking about some twisted people. You know all the birth defects that come with that.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna just prepare to share until you get on. Let you get back on and finish before I start that. Yeah, I just like the traditional stuff, man. You know, it's just like ain't nobody trying to really overpower nobody, nobody trying to be smarter than anybody, following the pecking order of the elders and recognizing and go ahead, E.
All right. So yeah, so that was my question, man. What was the intellect? What was their intellect? What do you think the intellect was about? Because you can't just
Well,
run this across
you
people
cheated
who
us
got some
first.
sense.
You cheated us first. You said who were the people, but you was talking about what was their mindset and what was their intellect like. And yeah,
Well, yeah.
Well,
Well, I'm trying to be, I'm just saying, we already established who those people were. So they had to be of a weaker mindset or something that allowed that to take place and continue to take place to the point where they lost their own humanity. What was their benefit? In losing their humanity, what did they gain? Some space? Some property? What?
no, they gained their life. Do you understand that at that point in time, when Constantine declared the canon of Christianity at that point in time, when he
Yeah.
when they made the decision about Jesus, hey man, at that point in
Uh-huh.
time, King, you didn't have a choice, or you was the enemy if you was believing in
Right.
anything besides that, right? And you had to go, man,
Yes.
or convert. You had to go or convert, man. They may have gave you a chance to leave or die
And for the rest of the
or
minutes.
convert. That's how it's gonna be with you. So, that's how it is, man.
Right.
So yeah, and then that's how Christianity end up spreading. After they got a big enough following, churches start the church, you know what I'm saying? Churches took
So
over.
now
Hmm?
yep, that's true. It's
Churches
true. They
took
saw
over.
they started seeing it as a way of making some money, as a power thing now. It became a power thing. They started to see how lucrative it was. It was very lucrative if you were going to justify taking other folks' stuff,
Mm,
including the people. God dog. In the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of belief. Oh yeah. That
that's
paid off
right.
well for the slave master. That paid off
That's
well for the
right.
slave master, not so much for the slaver though.
right.
Uh-uh. No, that paid
And once
off
it
well. But
and once it gained its traction the way
go
they
ahead.
wanted it to, you see that they started making the papal bulls and the dumb diverses.
Yes, sir. Them the verses came next.
Hmm. And that's when you get these decrees and these orders. Yeah.
So you can get some on.
You can kill anything
Yes, sir.
or take it in slavery that ain't no Christian.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump over to this real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
This
Out of
I
well,
think this is going to transfer really good over to
okay, Pope Nicholas the Fifth.
Pope Nick.
Look him up, family. Fifth or the fourth?
Pope Nicholas.
Fourth, right?
I had to look him up.
Oh yeah, we read about that when we was looking at the
Yeah, the dumb
dumb
diverses.
diverses.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I'm familiar then. I'm not familiar with the dumb verses, but okay. He
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
one
you are.
involved. He was
Yeah,
the one
yeah. Hey,
Pope at the time.
you familiar
Oh
with the
yeah.
dumb diverses too? Yeah, you are. You know
Oh
exactly
yeah.
what they
I
do.
know. I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. But
let's
I'll just
get
say his name, Pope, the Pope.
Yeah,
right.
That
Pope
name,
Nicholas. I think it's the fourth.
Nicholas.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was another cat
Nicholas the Fourth.
that was involved in that too, and can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get a little bit of this, man.
Mm-hmm. Dumb the verses. The dumb the verses.
Oh,
Mama, you heard of them?
She heard of me?
Mm-mm. How about the Capitol Bull, Mom? Yes. Are familiar with the rule? That says you can go reduce to slavery anybody who's not Christians. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna start this real quick.
The mic is at the bottom. All right.
You know what she might like? That naan bread that's in her freezer over there. That garlic naan bread. At some point, I'm
Okay.
not saying now.
No, okay.
Put the sandwich on this thing.
We can't hear nothing, King. Hey, you there? Hey, we can't hear nothing, King.
You can't hear it?
No.
Oh man. Oh, I know why. Okay, hold up. My bad. My bad. Sorry about that. I had to go to the bathroom.
Jesus never existed.
Now?
Yep.
And the Vatican knows it. That sounds outrageous, right? And yet everything you have ever believed could be built on the greatest myth in human history. For centuries, the image of Jesus Christ has been etched into the minds of billions. A man who healed the sick, raised the dead, and walked on water. But what if I told you that none of it happened? Not just the miracles, not just the resurrection, but the man himself. What if he never even existed? This is not just speculation. This is about connecting the dots that the Vatican has fought desperately to keep you from seeing. To understand the scale of this deception, we have to begin at the source, not in Bethlehem, but far earlier, in ancient mythology. Because long before Christianity, there were already stories of savior gods born to virgins, performing miracles, dying for humanity, and resurrecting after 3 days. Horus of Egypt, Mithras of Persia, Dionysus of Greece, Krishna of India, all of them share eerily similar traits with Jesus, and these stories existed hundreds, sometimes thousands of years before the New Testament was even written. Are we supposed to believe this is a coincidence? Or did the early architects of Christianity simply recycle older myths to build a religion tailored for control? Let us reflect for a moment. If your God shares the same story, beats as pagan deities, then what makes him different or real? Why would a divine truth need to borrow from folklore? The uncomfortable answer is because it was never divine to begin with. Early Christian leaders were not preserving history. They were constructing mythology, and they did so deliberately. The Roman Empire, which had mastered the art of controlling populations through symbols and spectacle, found in Christianity the perfect tool. But first, they needed a figure, a symbol that could unify a crumbling empire under one moral vision. Enter Jesus, not as a real person, but as a collage of ancient myths repackaged in a Jewish setting. The virgin birth? Borrowed. The 12 disciples? Recycled. The crucifixion, the resurrection, the promise of eternal life, all rebranded from earlier belief systems. And then they added a brilliant twist: fear. Believe or be damned. Worship or burn. Follow or perish. This was not the teaching of a humble carpenter. This was the architecture of imperial propaganda. You might ask, why would so many intelligent people fall for it? The answer is shockingly simple: because it was designed to be irresistible. In an age of chaos and suffering, people were desperate for hope, for meaning, for structure, and Christianity offered all of it, wrapped in a narrative that felt familiar, because it was. Let that sink in. The Jesus story felt true, not because it was true, but because it was designed to feel true. Drawing from myths humanity had already internalized for centuries. The earliest followers did not worship a man. They worshipped a myth, a story, a spiritual ideal that only later was twisted into a biography. And that shift, from myth to man, is where the deception begins. Because once the story was treated as history.
So right there, we're going to have problems, and plenty of it before that, right? And Jamie, you was just talking about, we was just talking about it being forced upon people.
Right.
Right. Just want to make sure I stop it a few times, like he was talking about too.
Questioning it became dangerous. Heretics were burned, libraries destroyed, dissent silenced. Why? If the story were true, why the need for violence? Why the need to erase evidence, to rewrite timelines, to murder doubters? Because the myth only holds power as long as people believe it is fact. The moment that illusion cracks, the entire institution crumbles. And the Vatican knows this. That is why they guard the archives like a fortress. That is why they refuse transparency. Because buried in their vaults are documents, letters, alternative gospels, and forgotten texts that hint at a very different origin, one that never included a real man named Jesus. What if the figure you have worshipped your entire life was never more than a collage of ancient stories, rebranded for political control? What if the love you feel for him is real, but the person was never there? That is the heartbreak of this revelation. And yet,
That's cold
it is
right
also
there.
the beginning of truth. Because to find real meaning, you must first destroy the illusion. You must question what you were told not to question. And once you do, you will see it. The similarities, the patterns, the borrowed legends.
The dude said, what if the person you loved was never there?
That's what I'm saying. But that's a scare thing. See now, so now you're dealing with fear, right? We're dealing with fear now. We're looking for somebody who's gonna save us now. Well, what do we do now then? What do we follow? Who do we follow? That's always the next question. Is what do we do now? You know what I mean? Like who's gonna save us now then? Because you've been conditioned to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You've been trained to to look for somebody to save you. You know, you've been trained that way all your life. Somebody's gonna come and save you. Ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody coming, family. Ain't nobody coming, man. Each and every time that something happened and you have come through it, you that did it, man. You put that work in and you got through it. You know what I'm saying? So when you call on God, just call on yourself. That's it, because that's all that's gonna come in, and that's all that's gonna make it happen. Itself. But yeah, go ahead, King.
Gary, you want to say something?
Nope, I'm good. I'm watching this. Thank you.
Okay. You good?
I'm good, Mahomes. I'm right here. I'm good.
Okay.
Jesus was not unique. He was not original. He was not historical. He was constructed. And the blueprint, the borrowed legends of truth Because to find real meaning, you must first destroy the illusion. You must question what you were told not to question. And once you do, you will see it. The similarities, the patterns, the borrowed legends. Jesus was not unique. He was not original. He was not historical. He was constructed. And the blueprint is older than Christianity itself. But the deeper we dig, the more impossible it becomes to deny. Because once you realize that the foundation was built on myth, every brick above it begins to shake. And if the foundation was a lie, then what else have we been told that is false? Get ready, because what comes next will rip the veil off completely. So if Jesus was modeled on earlier deities, if his story mirrors pagan myths, then the next question has to be this: where is the evidence that he ever lived at all? Because if someone as extraordinary as Jesus really existed, someone who healed the blind, fed thousands with a few loaves of bread, walked on water and rose from the dead, then surely there would be mountains of contemporary evidence, right? But here's the staggering truth the Vatican never wants you to consider. There is not a single verified historical record from the time of Jesus that mentions him. Let that sink in. Not one Roman document, not one Greek historian, not one eyewitness account. Nothing. And we are talking about the Roman Empire, a bureaucracy that documented everything from tax receipts to criminal trials, to the mundane weather patterns of Jerusalem. And yet somehow the trial, execution, and resurrection of a man who supposedly shook the very foundations of society went entirely unnoticed by the people who recorded absolutely everything else. That is not just strange, that is damning. Think about it. This man allegedly turned water into wine, walked through crowds who wanted him dead, was crucified under orders from a Roman governor, and then rose again in front of witnesses. And yet the only place we hear about this is from religious texts written decades later by anonymous authors who never met him. And even more disturbingly, those authors contradict one another constantly. But we will get to that. First, let us talk about who should have written about Jesus if he had really existed. Flavius Josephus, for example, was a Jewish historian working under Roman. He lived during and after the supposed time of Jesus, and he wrote in exhaustive detail about Jewish life, leaders, prophets, uprisings, and politics. And yet, in all his extensive works, there is only one suspicious passage that even mentions Jesus, and scholars widely agree that it was tampered with by later Christian scribes. Philo of Alexandria is another. He lived at the exact time Jesus was supposedly performing miracles across Galilee. He wrote extensively about religion, philosophy, and strange sects in Judea, and yet not a single mention of Jesus. Nothing. Zero. Then there is Seneca the Younger, Pliny the Elder.
Criminals are using tools that allow them to roll back odometers for a few hundred.
Tacitus, Suetonius, all prominent Roman historians who documented the period in which Jesus supposedly lived. All of them wrote in detail about even minor Jewish cults and prophets, and yet none of them mentioned a man who could raise the dead. Why? Because he was not there. He did not exist. That silence is deafening. And it is not just the silence of non-Christian sources. It is the silence of logic. If Jesus had truly been followed by multitudes, if he had caused political unrest, if he had performed miracles in public, his life would have been an earthquake in historical records. But instead, all we have are a handful of writings from decades later, written not by historians or eyewitnesses, but by believers trying to spread a new faith. Even the letters of Paul, considered the earliest Christian documents, say almost nothing about the actual life of Jesus. Paul never mentions Bethlehem, Mary, Joseph, the Sermon on the Mount, the miracles, the parables, or even the crucifixion scene with Pontius Pilate. To Paul, Jesus is not a man who just walked the earth. He is a vague cosmic figure who died and rose in some undefined realm. That is not history. That is mythology. And yet, billions are told this is the literal truth. Let us pause and ask the question no priest wants you to ask. If the earliest Christian writings do not describe Jesus as a historical man, and the historians of the time never mentioned him, then who exactly are we believing in? A name? A legend? A borrowed idea? And even more chilling, why has the church hidden this from you? Why have we not been taught to examine the silence of history? Because they know that once you look too closely, the illusion collapses. Once you begin to ask why no one noticed Jesus when he was alive, you realize that the story only began once people stopped asking questions and started writing myths. And those myths were written with a purpose: to inspire, to control, to convert. but not to record history. The Gospels, written decades later, are theological documents, not biographies. They were never meant to be read as literal truth, and yet that is exactly how they were sold. That is how faith turned into dogma. That is how a myth became a man. And it worked, because most people never question what they are told as children. But what if you had been taught the full truth? What if instead of memorizing verses, you had been shown the silence of historians, the contradictions of scripture, the eerie parallels to pagan gods? Would you still believe, or would you feel betrayed? Not by the idea of faith.
That was one of the big things in the church was highly emphasized was to memorize verses over and over and over. And then you get rewarded for
I'm
that.
sure.
And I got so
That's
many.
indoctrination at its best.
I went crazy on that, man. I went, I made it part of my business. I love the church, right? I used to love going to church. So,
Dig, dig.
yeah.
But
So,
what you probably loved about it most, what would you think you loved about it most? It was the social contact, I would assume, the interaction. Because I would think doing
yeah. So,
stuff, events and stuff like that.
that's a good question, man. So I think that's an individual response, but for me, it
Yeah.
was definitely the social interaction. But for me, myself,
Okay.
man, I was able to experience what they provided as the being in touch with that Holy Spirit, man. I felt like I was in a bubble
Okay.
in the church, man, because I seen all the antics going on and stuff. They're impressed and stuff like that, but don't put your hands on me. You ain't gonna be laying hands on me and trying to bring shit up out of me. Don't do that shit, right? And I didn't have to
What
worry about that.
what denomination? What
I went
denomination
to
was it, if
I
you
went
don't
to
mind me asking?
Methodist, Baptist. I went to Baptist. I went to and those were the two main ones, right? But we
Oh,
were all over the place,
Baptist,
man.
Baptist. Okay.
Yeah, Methodist,
Oh,
Baptist.
okay.
My father was a minister at the Trinity A&E, so
Okay.
African
Okay.
culture based,
Yeah.
but still following the Bible,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
point was that, he mentioned the verses, man, and that was, that was they gave rewards for that, man, and I got every reward that I was present to receive, present to engage to achieve. So
Mhm. Uh-huh.
the psychological and behavioral impact that had on me is evident. I can speak that shit clearly, and but there's no freedom in the thinking, and there's no freedom. There's none of our tradition in that. You know what I mean? So our African tradition and none of that to me. So yeah,
Yeah. It was really something.
yeah,
They did some work. They did some work on us.
yeah, exactly.
But by the institutions that
Mhm.
never.
But yeah, brothers, I'm gonna get on out of here, man.
Okay, I appreciate you, brother.
I got to branch off. Yeah, take care of some
Okay,
business. I appreciate y'all as
yeah, I
well,
love
man.
you, my
Peace
brother.
to you.
I get up. I love, much love for sure.
Peace.
All right, peace. Yeah.
To doubt. That is the tragedy. And it is also the path to freedom. Because if Jesus never existed, then your relationship with truth must begin anew. No more illusions, no more inherited lies, just the courage to see what is actually there. And what is there is this: a glaring hole in history where a Messiah should have been. A Messiah who, for all his miracles, left not a single fingerprint. And yet, his story became the most powerful weapon of belief in human history. But belief without evidence is not truth. It is indoctrination. And if the Vatican fears anything, it is that you will realize that. If 2,000 years of power and control were built on the absence of evidence, then what happens when the world finally demands proof? Now let us turn to the Gospels themselves, the very heart of the Christian faith, the supposed biographies of Jesus, and ask the question that shakes the foundation of it all. If these documents were truly inspired by God, why are they filled with contradictions, historical errors, and mythological patterns found in stories long before Jesus ever appeared? Because here is the disturbing reality the Vatican has tried to conceal for centuries. The Gospels are not eyewitness accounts. They were written decades after the supposed events by unknown authors who never met Jesus, writing.
So there's a verse similar to this, and I understand it now because all these other religions were in place far before this one. Many will come in my name, right? But don't you fall for it. Don't you fall for it, right? And so that little verse makes a big difference. And I'm not saying it 100% the way it's written, but
Yeah, but many you're right though. They got something in there talking about many will come in my name and they false false
false
prophets and all
witnesses,
that.
false
Yeah,
prophets.
yeah, yeah. And so but here's the thing though. If if your story have been here thousands of years before you were even thought about, right? Before anybody had ever heard your name, right? Before anybody have ever heard your damn name, they had this concept. They already had it.
Right.
The virgin birth, the death, the resurrection. They already had it. They had these stories. They already had them, man. It's like so you can't say many will come in my name, bro. You came in many names.
Exactly, right?
Right? You
Right.
came in a lot of different culture already had, a deity that they follow.
Right.
And the thing is you just came. Many ain't gonna come in your name. You came in many of the other ones that came before you name.
Right. Right.
So that's how they trick you.
Right.
That's how they twist it. If I was here before you, how am I coming in your name? And you got my concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that? And even once after that was after Kemet, but before Judaism or Christianity.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, nah, man. You got to twist it. It's backwards. It's backwards. Yeah. Like nobody's coming in your name. You ain't even know you ain't even know you took a story and added your own name.
Right. Right.
That's what you did. You took stories and added your name to the stories.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's some crazy shit, man.
That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want to look at that. Oh no, that's false prophet. False prophet teaches that. Nope, that's no, that's not true. You know what I mean? You just in denial. You only care about the facts or the evidence. You just don't want to believe that because it don't line up. And now you starting to feel that little thing that in your chest when you find out some bad news.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you find out some bad news, and you get that little jolt in your motherfucking chest. You know what I'm saying? Because now, who gonna save us now? Go ahead, King.
Yeah, yeah, that's real though. I mean, we've been over all this stuff, man, but this is just put together real well, man. The only thing that I got a problem with is looking at this motherfucker, man, through the whole damn video.
Well, I mean, I think when you hold on, go ahead. I'll get back in just a second.
Okay.
In Greek, far from Judea, and often copying from one another or inserting their own theological agendas. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are not names of the actual writers. They are titles added later to give the illusion of authority. And once you begin reading them with open eyes, it becomes clear these are not consistent reports from people who saw the same events. These are theological arguments, spiritual allegories, and sometimes outright fabrications. Let us start with the Nativity, the birth of Jesus, supposedly the most important event in human history. According to Matthew, Jesus was born in a house in Bethlehem during the reign of Herod, and the family fled to Egypt to escape a massacre. According to Luke, Jesus was born in a manger during a census when Quirinius was governor of Syria, a census that took place 10 years after Herod's death. The timelines do not match. The locations do not match. The narratives do not match. Which is it? Herod or Quirinius? Egypt or Jerusalem? Stable or house? These are not minor inconsistencies. These are irreconcilable contradictions.
Have you ever wondered how buying Israeli goods helps Israel during turbulent times?
And yet billions are told that this story is divine truth. Move on to the crucifixion, and the contradictions only deepen. In Mark, Jesus is silent and abandoned, dying with a cry of despair. In Luke, he is calm and forgiving, promising paradise to a thief beside him. In John, he is triumphant, declaring that his mission is complete. So which Jesus died on the cross? The tortured man of sorrow, the stoic savior, or the divine victor? They cannot all be true. And it gets worse. Even basic facts, like who discovered the empty tomb, what they saw, what Jesus said after the resurrection, differ from gospel to gospel. In one account, there are 2 angels. In another, 1. In one story, Jesus appears to the disciples in Galilee. In another, he appears in Jerusalem. And in the earliest gospel, Mark, the original ending does not even include a resurrection appearance. It ends with women running away in fear and telling no one. That ending was later edited, expanded, and polished. Why? Because even then early Christians knew they needed to make the myth more convincing. Let that settle in. The resurrection, the very miracle Christianity is built upon, was not originally in the earliest gospel. It was added. That is not faith. That is editing. And if you think the contradictions are just in the details, think again. The entire structure of the Gospels mirrors a literary form known as the hero's journey, found in mythologies from Mesopotamia and Greece. A divine child born under threat, hidden in obscurity, revealed through signs and miracles, betrayed by a friend, dies a noble death and returns in glory. This is not new. This is not unique. This is storytelling. And once you see that Jesus fits this mold perfectly, the illusion begins to crumble. Ask yourself, would God inspire 4 different authors to write 4 different versions of the most important story in history, full of contradictions, copying, and theological agendas, and then demand people believe it as literal fact? Or is it more likely that these stories were crafted by human hands, edited by councils, and molded over time to fit a growing institution's needs? Because the deeper you look, the more you realize the Gospels are not historical documents. They are not even consistent religious texts. They are propaganda, powerful, emotional, beautifully written, but designed to convert, not to report. That is why the early church leaders fought so fiercely to control which Gospels were included and which were destroyed. The Gospel of Thomas, for instance, contains sayings attributed to Jesus, but no miracles, no virgin birth, no resurrection. The Gospel of Peter presents a talking cross. The Gospel of Mary suggests that Mary Magdalene was closer to Jesus than the male disciples. All of these texts were banned, burned, or buried. Why? Because they contradicted the narrative the Church wanted to preserve. The Vatican did not just inherit the Gospels, it curated them, selected them, modified them, and then declared them infallible. That is not divine inspiration. That is institutional control. And if you believe the Gospels are perfect, ask yourself why there are footnotes in your Bible indicating disputed verses, alternate translations, and missing manuscripts. Truth does not need disclaimers. Fiction does. And still, the illusion persists, because people have been taught to see the Bible not as a library of flawed human writings, but as a single, divine voice. That is how power works, not by lying directly, but by packaging the truth in ways that prevent questions. But you are asking questions now. You are seeing the contradictions. You are noticing how the stories shift depending on the author's agenda, and that awareness is dangerous to those in power, because if the Gospels are not reliable, then the foundation of Christianity begins to collapse. If the resurrection was a literary flourish, not a historical event, then what remains? A myth, a story, a symbol, but not a man. And once you realize that, everything changes. The pulpit loses its authority. The rituals lose their certainty. The fear loses its grip. And what replaces it is freedom. The freedom to seek truth without chains, to build meaning without illusion. And that is exactly what the Vatican fears the most. But perhaps the most damning proof that Jesus was never a real man is not found in pagan parallels, or historical silences, or gospel contradictions. It is found in the letters of the very man who shaped Christianity more than anyone else, Paul. Because if you strip away everything you have been told and read only the earliest Christian documents, the epistles of Paul, what you discover is shocking. Paul never met Jesus. Paul never quotes Jesus. Paul never tells stories about Jesus' life. Paul does not mention Bethlehem or Nazareth or Mary or Joseph or the Sermon on the Mount or the parables or the miracles or even the crucifixion scene as told in the Gospels. In fact, Paul's Jesus does not walk the earth at all. Paul's Jesus is a cosmic being, revealed through visions, scriptures, and mystical experiences, not a man who ate fish with his followers or preached to crowds. Ask yourself, how could the man most responsible for spreading Christianity have nothing to say about the actual life of Jesus? That is not an oversight. That is a clue. And it is one that historians have noticed for decades, but the church has buried, because Paul's Jesus looks suspiciously like other mystery religion deities that were popular in the Roman Empire at the time. Mithras, Attis, Osiris, all divine savior figures who died and rose again, whose followers partook in symbolic meals, and who offered spiritual salvation through secret rites. Sound familiar? That is not coincidence. That is design. Paul was not recounting the life of a historical teacher. He was building a theology around a spiritual myth. And then, over time, later writers, the gospel authors, retrofitted that myth with a fictional life story to give it credibility. But the original Jesus, the one Paul preached, was never flesh and blood. He was myth from the beginning. Do you see it now? This is not about erasing Jesus from history. It is about realizing he was never placed there to begin with. The gospel narratives were written to fill in the blanks left by Paul's abstract theology. They created the illusion of a historical anchor. But if Paul, writing closest to the time Jesus supposedly lived, had no knowledge of his life on earth, then who invented it? The answer: later believers who needed a concrete figure to rally behind. People do not die for abstract ideas. They die for heroes. They follow stories. And the church knew this. That is why they elevated Paul's theology with the biography of Jesus, a biography created decades later to give form to a formless God. And that is why Paul's Jesus never interacts with Rome, never debates Pharisees, never teaches crowds, because in Paul's mind, those things had not yet been imagined. His Jesus is crucified, but the details are missing. His Jesus rises, but in a realm beyond earth. There is no tomb, no Galilee, no disciples, no flesh, just faith. And that faith was enough until the church realized it needed more. It needed miracles. It needed drama. It needed a face. And so it was written. Think about this carefully. If Jesus had truly lived and taught as described in the Gospels, Paul would have said something about it. Anything. But he did not. Not once. That silence is not accidental. It is devastating. It means that the earliest form of Christianity did not worship a man who had walked among them. They worshipped a mythological savior who revealed himself through visions and scriptures, just like so many other gods of the era. It means the flesh and blood Jesus was a later invention, added to make the faith more relatable, more human, more marketable.
Organic and dairy free.
Hey, that's facts. That's pure facts right there.
And once the gospel...
Say it again.
I said that's pure facts right there, because
I know it's cold, ain't it?
yeah. I mean, that's fact. You know, you said that you hated the image,
Right.
but when you look at the when they describe them, to me they describe it a white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When they describe him in the Bible,
Right.
in Revelation, you know what I'm saying? You know, it says his head and his hairs were white like wool. So they already let you know his head and his hairs. So both of them, they made a distinction. So they let you know his head and his hairs was white like wool.
Right. Right.
As white as snow, matter of fact.
The black people want to stick with the afro and then forget about the skin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just said it was white like wool. It didn't say that it was like wool. It just gave you the color of wool. That's all it did. It didn't tell you that his hair was like wool. It's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was white like wool.
Right.
See, this is where they see, and this is where this is where they twist people in the Bible. Instead of reading yourself and getting the real understanding of what it's saying, you let somebody else explain it to you. And now you saying that this is a black man because now he got, you know what I'm saying, it skips his head and hairs. They skip the head part and go say his hair, it was like wool. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say it wasn't white like wool. It says his hair was like wool. You know what I mean? White as snow, eyes was flaming, and the feet, you know, fine like brass. You know what I'm saying? So now they made him black. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, that's they describing exactly what they describing. You know what I'm saying? When you read it, you know what I mean? His head and his hair was white like wool. So that don't mean his hair was like wool. And nobody said that. They didn't say that nowhere.
I pulled up the verses real quick. It says in Daniel 7:9, his clothing was white as snow, and his hair and the hair of his head was like pure wool. The passage describes God in the ancient days. Revelations 1:14. I don't know. Let me get King James. Let me get the King James version. So Revelation says his head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow.
Yeah, it don't say nothing about his hair was like wool, nothing like that. It just said it's white like wool. It didn't say nothing about his shit was nappy. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is how I'm saying we gotta pay attention to that, because people will, you know, like I said, that don't read it, let other people explain it to them and have it all wrong.
All right. That's good. We just got a little bit more.
Yeah.
Created that narrative, it became untouchable. Questioning it became heresy. Dissenters were silenced. Doubters were burned. Theologians were forced to twist Paul's vague statements into alignment with the later biographies. But it never fit. It still does not. You can feel it when you read the Bible, the disconnect between the theological writings of Paul and the dramatic narratives of the Gospels. Two different versions of Jesus, one abstract, mystical, invisible, the other tangible, theatrical, political. Which one came first? The one with fewer details, fewer witnesses, fewer contradictions. The one Paul preached, the one that sounds more like mythology than history. And yet, that is the version Christianity was built upon. The rest was added, layer by layer, story by story, counsel by counsel, until questioning it felt like treason against truth itself. But it is not. It is the path to truth. And Paul, for all his flaws, left clues behind. He described Jesus as a mystery. He quoted no earthly teachings. He based his beliefs on visions and scripture. That is not how you describe a man you just missed meeting by a few years. That is how you describe a God created in your mind, and that mind reshaped the world. But now it is time to reshape our understanding. Because if Jesus was created first as a cosmic myth, then later fleshed out with invented stories, then the Jesus of history never walked the roads of Galilee. He never preached to the multitudes. He never bled on a cross. He existed only in words, in dreams, in desperate hopes for salvation. And while that may still hold symbolic meaning for some, it is not the same as truth. It is not the same as reality. And for a religion that claims exclusive truth, that difference is everything. What happens when you realize that Christianity did not begin with a man, but with a myth? That Paul, the true founder of the faith, knew no historical Jesus. What happens when you see through the illusion?
Exactly. Paul is the true founder of the faith.
You begin to see clearly how one man's...
Paul is the true founder of Christianity. Period. I don't care what nobody say. Paul is the true. He the one. He the founder. He the true founder of Christianity.
But Paul is not real.
Well, look here, man. All I'm saying is this:
Right.
he got that. Whether he real or not, the
Right.
teachings that come from Paul,
Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you on it.
right? The teachings. These are so you see, because they don't follow Jesus, because Paul contradicts Jesus
Right.
on damn near everything. If you go through it and look at what Jesus say and look what Paul say, hey, they on two different pages. Paul said that you up under grace. Jesus said you up under the law.
Right.
Paul changed that.
Yeah.
Paul changed that. That Jesus, that ain't what Jesus said. Right? Jesus said he came to follow the law, and not only that, gave you the consequences for not following the law. He
Right.
gave them to you. Gave you all the consequences of what's going to happen to you if you don't follow these laws. So no, so that's why I said Paul this is a Paul Bible. This is a Paulinian
Yeah. Exactly.
by Christianity. So people that's who they follow. They follow Paul. They don't follow Jesus. Because I'm telling you, you check out Paul. Paul wrote a whole bunch of books, man.
Right. 26 of them, didn't he?
Like 23, I think. How many was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh no, yeah, something like that.
20
Or maybe it was or something like that. Or 23, 13 or something. Let me see how many books he wrote. Hold on, let me be sure. He wrote a lot of books, man.
Should know that by heart, but
Yeah, it's like 13 or 14 books. It's so they give you Romans 1 and 2, Corinthians, Galatians, Philemon,
yeah.
yeah, Philippians, and often one theologians and is also included. So here they are.
Yeah, I said 27 because it's
Theologians,
20.
1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, and Hebrews, Romans. Yeah, he wrote a whole lot of books, man. He wrote a whole lot of books. And like I said, so most of these books, most of this they're following is that they're following Paul.
Yeah.
They're following Paul, man. Paul said that you ain't got to follow the law no more, that you up under grace. You just follow Jesus.
Yeah, he wrote 13 or 14 out of the 27.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's in the New Testament.
Right.
That's out of the New Testament, family. So just remember that, right? So just remember when you talking about Bible stuff, figure out what book you talking about, because you got to figure out who wrote that book, right? And why is this book telling you something and the other books? This is why there's a lot of contradictions. Because why is this book telling you something, but Jesus is talking, it's telling you something different? Just check that. Just watch what I'm talking about. Yeah, they ain't on the same page. So
They ain't
I'm
on the
just letting
same
y'all.
page.
No, they ain't. They definitely not, man. They ain't not on the same page on these books, kid.
We just got a little bit more.
All right, go ahead.
Turned into the most influential fiction the world has ever known. And now we reach the part that chills the spine and enrages the soul. The part the Vatican has spent centuries hiding behind golden altars and marble silence. Because if Jesus was modeled on ancient myths, if no historical records confirm his life, if the Gospels contradict each other like clumsy fiction writers, and if Paul, the architect of Christian theology, never knew the man, then who sealed the deal? Who turned the scattered stories and mystical visions into the most powerful religious empire in human history? The answer is as brutal as it is calculated: the Vatican.
My daughter is being treated for leukemia. It hit me hard. It did.
not as a spiritual beacon, but as a political machine. Because once the Roman Empire realized that Christianity could serve its needs, not as a disruptive sect, but as a unifying mythology, it absorbed it, weaponized it, and institutionalized it. In the year 325, the Council of Nicaea was convened under Emperor Constantine, not to pray for truth, but to enforce a single version of the Jesus story, one that served the empire. This was not divine revelation. It was editorial control. The council discarded dozens of gospels, banned teachings, condemned alternative Christianities, and chose a version of Jesus that would create obedience, fear, and loyalty. And then they declared that version infallible. Why do you think the Vatican keeps its archives locked tighter than any government's most classified files? Because inside those vaults lie the discarded versions of Christianity, the ones that describe Jesus as a teacher, not a god, as a symbol, not a savior, as a man of wisdom, not a magician. But that version would not have built an empire, that Jesus would not have served Rome. So he was erased. And in his place they enthroned a god who demanded loyalty, who judged the living and the dead, who threatened eternal torment for disbelief. Do you see the genius of it? A myth that promised hope, but enforced fear. A symbol that looked like love, but acted like control. And over the centuries, the Vatican became the master of this narrative, burying dissent, torturing heretics, and burning books that challenged the myth. They claimed they were preserving the faith, but in reality, they were preserving power. For 2,000 years, this institution has maintained its authority by pointing to a man who never existed. They have crowned kings, launched crusades, slaughtered millions, and ruled continents, all in the name of a savior no historian ever met. And yet no one asks, why do we trust them? Why do we believe that this one version of Jesus, written decades after his supposed death, chosen by emperors, edited by councils, and enforced by inquisitions, is the true one? Because we were never given a choice. From birth, we were told the story. We were baptized before we could speak. We were shown crosses before we could read. We were told that doubt was sin and faith was virtue. But now you know better. Now you see that this entire edifice was built on a foundation of illusion. The Vatican fears this truth more than anything. Because once people realized that Jesus was a myth, they stopped fearing hell. They stopped confessing sins to priests. They stopped giving money to maintain cathedrals. They stop obeying ancient rules written to uphold a lie. And when that happens, the spell breaks. That is why they fight so hard to keep the illusion alive, through ceremony, through pageantry, through centuries of indoctrination. But the truth cannot be buried forever. And the truth is this: Jesus, as described by the Church, never existed. He was never born of a virgin. He never performed miracles. He never died for your sins. He never rose from the dead. He was created, invented, carefully shaped by theologians, emperors, and bishops. And if that shocks you, good, because it should. You were never meant to discover this. But now that you have, the question is not whether Jesus existed. The question is, what are you going to do with this truth? Will you ignore it? Or will you demand more? More honesty, more history, more courage? Because this is not about destroying faith. It is about freeing it. It is about pulling back the curtain and seeing who is really writing the story. And what you will find is not God, but men. Men with agendas. Men with fear. Men with power. And once you see that, you will never look at the Vatican the same way again. So if this revelation shook you, if you felt the ground shift beneath everything you thought you knew, then you are not alone. And you are not crazy. You are awakening. And this is only the beginning. Because there is so much more the Church has buried. So much more to uncover. Subscribe now, because the next lie we expose might be the one you were never supposed to survive.
Why do some men stay strong and vital well into their 60s while others become weak and tired? Take a look at these two men.
Hey, most is gonna ignore that. They're gonna
Right.
ignore every fact that was brought up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, after they ignore it, they're gonna bring to you, they're gonna try to correct him on the Bible verses instead of the history.
Right.
That's what the fight is gonna be. The fight is gonna be about the Bible verses, right? Rather than
that they got to paraphrase.
Well, it's going to be their fight. Their argument is going to be everything that he said. They're gonna come up with a scripture to try to battle what he's saying, right?
Right. Okay.
Instead of looking at the historical record, right? Instead of looking at the historical record, they're gonna fight you about the scripture. They don't, right?
They're gonna jump around.
So no, so they're gonna bring theology to a historical event. How is that gonna work?
Right. Right.
This is what you're doing. You're gonna bring theology to a historical to historical data. That doesn't miss. You see, you one is dealing with belief, the other is dealing with facts.
All right. All right.
Right, and but that's how they're gonna battle it. So the information, all that information that was just put out there, all that good information, all the whole comparison, right? The all exactly what Christianity is about and what they hid, right? What they didn't hide, how they pushed it, how they wanted to form it, how they organized it to accomplish their goals, man. It was never about no God. It was never about no Jesus Christ. Like they said, he was invented. And that is the truth, family. He was invented, period. And if you don't, and if and I'm like I said, there is absolutely no evidence of any of the stuff that he had supposedly did at that time. None. Not none.
And dude covered it up. He covered a lot too, man.
I mean, listen, man, he killed that, man. That was a good video, King.
Yeah.
That was a good video, man. Family, listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. Hey, this the this stuff is older than you think it is. This stuff is way older than you think it is, family. Okay, this stuff that they talking about, this Christianity. The concept of Christianity is very, 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 very old, family.
Right.
Way older than before Christianity was even a thing. It was not even wasn't even a word. It wasn't even a word.
Right.
You're right. Like, so I'm just, look, man, it's time to wake up, King. It's time to wake up, man. If you look, like I said, they're gonna the only beef they're not gonna come to you and fight that with historical proof. They're not gonna be able to go to the historical data and pull out some proof that's gonna
debunk it.
Debunk it. Their fight is gonna be he misquoted the scripture. We think, Queen Carrie.
Oh no, I'm gonna get off, but I'm just gonna rest for a minute. But I I kept thinking when I would question something growing up, my grandma would always say, "Oh, well, that's because you just have to have faith. There, have faith." And now you see that was just all bullshit. And I mean, not that she was trying to bullshit me. She truly had faith or believed, and wow, it's just like, we were told all these lies, and it was all about power and money and greed and all of that, and it's awful. But thank you, Lo, for sharing that video, and thank you guys for having this, and I will see you soon.
All right. Appreciate that. Oh, man, what you think, man?
Yeah, man. I just knew that by playing that one, of course, there's going to be some conflict and a lot of it. I started to say, I'm going to soften the blow from the Kemetic and Christianity side by side, right? But I was just lying, and so I didn't even say that, because it ain't gonna make it no better. This ain't gonna make it no better for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just truth seekers, man. Truth seekers want the truth and at least come closer to the truth, and they definitely don't want to buy into lies and stuff. And so anybody that I think is would claim to be a truth seeker would be confined to their own um, fears, their own discomforts, right? And the discomfort and the fear is shit. I know a lot about this, and now I got to. Now it's garbage, and I got to. You know what I'm saying?
It's scary.
Yeah, I get it, man. So, but the dude was spitting so much game, man. I was like, wow, that's just like I mean, it's not refutable. You know what I mean? People can debate it, but you ain't gonna be able to stand on that, man. Then have to go look in the mirror and say, I'm totally against it. Well, that's what it is then. But I really enjoyed both of them. I like Reggie's presentations.
Yeah.
He puts that work together real smooth and easy to understand. This dude, put it real smooth, easy to understand, and it wasn't from the Black perspective, and it wasn't meant to be from me this time. It was just facts,
Right.
clarity,
Right.
clarity, so. Yeah, man. I thank you for sticking in too, man, and then you're always interested in that stuff, and I knew you would like that one. But like you said, Jamie, people are just going to bounce back and forth verse by verse. But this verse says this verse says this, and then give an explanation of what dude made it clear. And we say it all the time. Why does somebody have to explain what God is saying? You know,
Right. I mean, and how the hell? Who
it's
told
in
you?
English. You
But
know what I
who?
mean?
I mean, but I'm trying to figure out is who whispered the understanding to you? Like,
Right.
I mean, especially the ones that can tell you what he was meant by what he when he said something. Like, man, get out. Like, so you know what's in God mind in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, man. Yeah, but yeah, man, that was good. I liked it. Real
Good build, man.
informative, man. Um, both videos were very, very informative. Family, listen, man. Nobody, I don't want mean to disrespect your your denomination or your doctrine, right? I don't mean to disrespect it at all. Um, but I do want you to take a look at it. And don't be afraid to step outside and look at it from the outside for once to see exactly what it is, man, and see how just follow. If you follow the history, you can't help but run into it. You can't help but run into it, man. We telling you where it all began, man. Where we giving you hints. Check out them the verses. Check out the Papa Bulls, man. Pope Nicholas V. Check them out, man.
All right.
Check them joints out, man. There's a couple of them. There's a few of them actually. Check them out, man. That'll let you know where a lot of this stuff come from, man. Like especially like slavery. That was the beginning of slavery.
Yeah, you can check out the First Council of Nicaea in 325 CE. That's the First Council of Constantinople, the First Council of Ephesus, the Second Council of Ephesus, the Council of Chaldean, the Council of Constantinople, and the Third Council of Constantinople. You know, there's a lot of change taking in place and enforcing and voting motherfuckers in. So, yeah.
Well, and just think, family. I mean, just think. Pope Nicholas gave the Portuguese permission. He gave permission to run up in Africa.
Yeah.
Portuguese. Check it out. Just check it out, man. Once you listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Follow the history. Just follow the history, man. Go back to 4000 BCE and walk all the way back until 1800s or 1900s to 2000 AD, right? Just walk your way that way, man, and you will see it. The history will show you where these things came in at 4000 BCE, family. There was no such thing as a Christianity, no such thing as a Abrahamic faith or Abraham, or it was no such thing, and none of that.
Yeah,
No such thing as no Adam and Eve. Well, no such thing and none of that. Okay,
right.
that stuff didn't come until way later, family. Right, and you will see where it came in. You don't hear nothing about that stuff until you get to later on, way later on. You won't hear nothing about it. All right, it's not mentioned nowhere, and no other cultures, ancient cultures. It's not mentioned. Not mentioned. Not once. Or Christianity or any of that. None of that was it. None of that. Didn't hear any of that stuff. Okay, so that's all I'm telling you, man. You will see where it come in at, though. You'll see where it come in at. You'll see where the Judaism came in at. You'll see where the Christianity came in at. Where Islam came in at. You'll see where these different doctrines come in at. Come on the scene. You'll see where they come on the scene, and you'll see, how they spread and how they took off. Some took off, some didn't. Some took off for a minute, some and then fizzled out. You know what I mean? And some flourished. Some took all the way off, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying you will see where it come in at, family. That's all. It's just about following your history, your real history. It's definitely not in that Bible. It's not in the Bible. You got to come out of the Bible and go into the historical data, families, and you will see exactly where these books and all this stuff start coming in at. Okay. All right. Hey, that's all I got, King.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's a good bill, man. I love you, boy. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
another good one. Another good one. Make sure you anybody that's just driving by viewing this, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Um, put a comment in there and share our information with anybody. Any
Yeah.
other
Like, subscribe, and share. Tell them,
ring that notification bell so you
leave
can
us a
get
comment.
them. We on Fridays. We on Fridays too. We don't go live on YouTube, but we live on Zoom. We don't record that one, but that's the Friday night open mic session where you bring the topic, any topic that you want to talk about, damn near any topic at least, and then we chop it up about it. This is where you get to serve the platter. Your voice makes a difference. So. Um, we just want to build with you. And then Sundays is for the presentations. We always have a presentation, right? And we can have we always have a little time before we go live, so you can get in on the Zoom call early, and we chop it up always, and then we move into the presentation, and then we share afterwards like we're doing now. But you can always use our material and share it with anybody you want to. Invite us if you want to. Come on over if you'd like to. Bring some people. All right. We got the children's book read coming up in 2 weeks. All right.
Yep.
We got the children's book read coming up in 2 weeks. So, that's where we have a raffle. We spin the wheel. We give away a free book. All we need is your address. We don't need no money. We don't need no PayPal. We don't need no Venmo. We don't need none of that. We just want your participation. All right. So make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and utilize our material, man, and hit that notification bell.
That's right, man. And, share, like, subscribe, give us a comment. Let us know what you think, man. If you know what I'm saying, like the brother said, we got first Sunday every month. We got a children's book read. Really, really important. Family is really, really, real important. We are at war right now with our history now. War has been declared on our history. And so now the only thing that we can do is put it out there, all the real history. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that we can fight back because they're trying to change the game. They definitely rewriting history in our face right now as we speak, family. We got to change that. We can't have that, man. We gotta make sure that our history survives this, man. All right, it's a definite war, man. We got the states that are at war that declare war on our history. It's 20 plus now that made it to where you can't teach Black African history in history class, right? Um, uh, and now you got Trump wanting to take stuff out of the Smithsonian Institute. So like that's just like just ask yourself, family, why is it so important to cover up our history? Why are they going through this much lengths to cover up our history? They made it a crime here to teach Black African history for the school systems. They're not allowed to do it. They go to jail, man, and get defunded. The school get defunded. Yeah, they won't defund the school, man. So this just to understand what's going on here, family. Y'all need to wake up, man, and come on and let's get into these books and let our kids understand who they are, where they come from, man, and a lot of our accomplishments. They need to know that, man. They gotta know that, family. They gotta know it, man. They can't let them take that from us, man. We can't let them take that from us, man. So this is what we doing to combat it at Sankofa 180 degrees. We dedicate a Sunday out of the month to dedicate it to the children's history, Black African history for the children. I'm talking about real kings and queens, real multi geniuses, real places, real events, real people, man. About our people and what we accomplished and the wars we had to fight. You know what I mean? You know, yeah. So just to learn about the revolts that we had when it was when we were when they had us enslaved, right? Look at the revolts that happened. There was a whole lot of revolts that happened during the time of slavery, family, that they don't teach us about. They don't want you to know it already. So they're already hiding that. So it's other stuff that they get ready to hide, man. And we can't let it go. We can't let it happen. So join us, family. First Sunday every month. We're gonna be here, and you can win a free book. Win a free book, man. A free book don't cost you nothing. We don't ask for no PayPal's, no uh
Postage, no
none
Venmo,
of
no
that. Yeah,
nothing.
none of that stuff, right? We don't ask you for nothing. All we, what I'm saying, and you can win a free book, man. You're gonna spin the wheel. If it land on your name, you're gonna get a free book, man, mailed straight to you. All right. So listen, man, join us and have some fun with us, man. Let's learn some of this history we got.
Yeah, that's it. That's it,
That's it.
man.
All right,
I'm
family.
good.
So we out.
Yeah.
Peace to y'all.